All right, so altcoins are pumping while Bitcoin is in consolidation. We see this happen all the time, but Bitcoin is getting a little bit of bullish momentum, which is overdone by all the altcoins. So we did do some nice scalps in Doge. There was also a nice potential right here. It's testing off the 200 EMA, and we had an exit right about the top of this triangle because it was a false breakout, and we want to see it touch again and then break that before it starts heading back up to 0.27 cents. But the one I really want to bring up is Prime. If you're in my trading signal channel or my one-on-one courses, you have gained over 40% on the first, 26% on the first, and then we had a re-entry right here, and we are currently in profit another 10%. But Prime was one I had brought up in the previous video, and you can see that Prime has exponential potential to move up towards 18, and I believe the next stop was $28. From $4 up is pretty profitable for Prime. It's still not too late by the time I post this video. If it hasn't skyrocketed, it would be a good entry, as we are still within this down area on the Fibonacci retracement, and we can expect a minimum pushing up to $11.90 within the next couple weeks, if not months. Then we talked about Floki, meme coin, still kind of trading in an upward trend. We're just going to bypass that. Quant is one I was trying to stack bags on, as we are touching this border, this black downward trend line for, I believe, the second or third time. This will be the third touch if it breaks, and then we can see a potential move up towards around 150. And if we're using Fibonacci on this, you can see that this is the top, this is the bottom, and right around here 130, 147 being at a higher point, but I believe we'll at least reach around 130 when it breaks this downward trend line. There's also XLM forming the cup and handle still and trying to push upwards, just like we saw with QNT previously. You can see almost with this yellow line identically, we had this little bit of consolidation, a little bit of retracement, and then it got this high right here and pushed out of that line. Similar with this pattern, we're seeing some consolidation and a little bit of retracement right here, but I believe we're going to break this line and start pushing upwards, filling out the major cup and handle pattern within the daily chart. And once it pushes back up to this 0.65 cents, we're going to see some new highs from XLM. Toshi has had, I believe, 150% in these past couple days. For judging from this entry up here, 177%. But this is just the base. So when you zoom out, you can see it was all the way up here, I believe 0.002 cents. So a drop of zero is pretty substantial for a meme coin. BNT, major pump since we had our entry. I haven't exited yet, but I was talking about exiting the other day, right around here at 94%. We are currently at 112%. We are going to expect a major retrace, probably around to 0.63 if it does not hold. However, this can still continue, as it has a major potential to push all the way up here towards $1.50, even $1.70 from its current position at 74 cents. Tornado has been consolidating right outside this triangle, but still trying to hold above the 200 EMA. Still a good bet for high potential risk to reward ratio being $8 turning into 450. DNT starting to build upward momentum, and I'd place this out here so you can see it does have 74% increase if it does break this downward trend line. However, it can still have consolidation and then push upwards, or if it does not, we can see it come up, come back down, and then retrace down to this bottom trend line, which would be pretty dramatic. But it is a possibility, if it does not break this downward trend line, to have some kind of support around 0.02. Now XRP, XCM, and XYO. XRP Been saying stack your bags since 50 cents, but here we are at $2, $2.60. And I believe once we break this, we are going to start seeing a push up towards the $3 mark, like we are currently seeing with Prime, having some strong potential pushing upwards, and maybe get a little bit of resistance around 3. But definitely hold your bags for XRP. Keep stacking XRP for sure. XYO building this exact same formation that it continues to build. And then once we see this break this high, we are most likely going to see a major spike upwards, like we've seen previously. And they are now on MEXC. I always recommend MEXC for a trading platform. It's got the lowest trading fees. I'll leave a link in the list below. Same with Grass. They have free airdrops. So if you want free money, check out Grass, reference link below, or Coinbase. And now XCN. XCN is still working on the downward wedge. I believe we are going to get held up by the 200 EMA and start pushing back up towards this downward trend line, doing a third test, breaking that, and then start moving upwards, finishing out the major cup and handle pattern for XCN, which has major potential. We'll continue with GRT, ABT, and LCX. GRT definitely pushed up over this support trend line, and now we do want to see that hold and continuation pushing above 14 cents. Beyond that, GRT does have astronomical potential, but we are going to see some resistance at this quarter mark, 0.25. If it breaks that, the sky's the limit for GRT for sure. It's definitely looking a lot better from yesterday. LCX starting to fill out the cup and handle, also inverse head and shoulders. I believe we are going to see this push up to 17 cents and even higher, so now would not be a bad time to stack some bags for LCX. It does have some really nice utility behind it, so not bad. If you have a nickel and a dime, invest it, you might get a couple dollars out of it. Shipping I was looking at, major push, but very sketchy. And ABT doing a little bit of consolidation. We do want to see it test back up around this $1.20 and break before anything major or get pushed up by the 200 EMA. That's it for today. This is NC Hammer. Like and subscribe if you want. See you guys on the next one.